Welcome back to Some Books. Today we dive into the haunting and provocative tale of beauty, hedonism, and moral decay, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Join us as we unravel the intricate layers of this Gothic masterpiece and discover how its themes resonate even today. Published in 1890, Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray explores the consequences of living a life devoted to aesthetic pleasures at the expense of morality. The story centers on a young and extraordinarily handsome man named Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray is introduced to the world of hedonism by the charismatic Lord Henry Wotton, who convinces him that beauty and sensual satisfaction are the only things worth pursuing in life. Inspired by this philosophy, Dorian makes a Faustian bargain, wishing that his portrait would age instead of him. Let's explore the major plot points. The story begins with Dorian's portrait being painted by the talented artist Basil Hallward, who becomes infatuated with Dorian's beauty. As Dorian succumbs to Lord Henry's influence, he begins to live a life of excess and indulgence. As Dorian delves deeper into a life of vice, his portrait begins to bear the physical and moral consequences of his actions, while he remains outwardly youthful and pristine. This supernatural element serves as a powerful metaphor for the duality of human nature and the hidden corruption beneath a beautiful facade. Dorian's descent into moral depravity leads to a series of tragic events, including the death of his love interest, Sybil Vane, and the eventual murder of Basil Hallward. Each act of cruelty and selfishness leaves its mark on the portrait, transforming it into a grotesque reflection of his soul. The story reaches its climax when Dorian, overwhelmed by guilt and horror at the monstrous image in the portrait, decides to destroy it. In a dramatic twist, this act leads to his own death, and his body is found aged and withered, while the portrait returns to its original, unblemished state. The themes of The Picture of Dorian Gray are as relevant today as they were in Wilde's time. The novel explores the dangers of vanity, the corrupting influence of hedonism, and the inevitable consequences of living a life without moral accountability. Now let's bring a modern twist to this classic tale. Billie Eilish's song Falling Shadows from her album Hit Me Hard and Soft echoes the dark and introspective themes present in The Picture of Dorian Gray. With lyrics like, "I see my sins in the shadows haunting me wherever I go," it resonates with Dorian's internal struggle and the haunting presence of his portrait. The haunting melody and reflective lyrics of Falling Shadows could serve as a contemporary anthem for Dorian's journey, capturing the essence of his internal conflict and the ultimate price of his hedonistic lifestyle. Let's delve deeper into the characters that drive the narrative of The Picture of Dorian Gray. Dorian Gray, the tragic protagonist, embodies the conflict between outward beauty and internal corruption. His character arc is a cautionary tale about the pursuit of eternal youth and the neglect of one's moral compass. Lord Henry Wotton, the charming cynic, acts as the devil's advocate, encouraging Dorian to embrace a life of hedonism. Basil Hallward, the earnest artist, represents the moral conscience and the voice of reason, ultimately paying the price for his unrequited admiration for Dorian. One of the most poignant themes in The Picture of Dorian Gray is the idea of duality. Dorian's external beauty contrasts sharply with his internal corruption, symbolized by the decaying portrait. This theme raises questions about the nature of identity and the masks people wear to hide their true selves. Moral decay is another central theme. Wilde critiques the superficial values of a society obsessed with appearance and pleasure. The novel serves as a stark reminder that actions have consequences, even if they are not immediately visible. Even today, The Picture of Dorian Gray influences countless works in literature, film, and music. Its themes of vanity, moral corruption, and the search for eternal youth continue to resonate. Modern adaptations and references in pop culture showcase the enduring legacy of Wilde's masterpiece. Now, we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on The Picture of Dorian Gray? Do you see parallels in contemporary works? How do you interpret the themes of duality and moral decay? Leave your comments below and let's start a conversation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the Picture of Dorian Gray. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more literary explorations. What are your thoughts on the connections between Dorian Gray and Billie Eilish's Falling Shadows? Let us know in the comments below.